Welcome to Final Score, to the busiest Saturday of the season so far. 9 Premier League matches being played today. Plenty to keep today's expert panel busy. Mark Bright, Gary Pallister and Garth Crooks have been engrossed with the action in the first half, and it has continued apace because we can go to Stamford Bridge where Roger Johnson can tell us of the latest goal to go in there.
Well, Gabby, the half-time whistle has gone just as you cross. Seconds before it, Everton scored an equaliser. At the break, it's Chelsea 2, Everton 2. Yakubu on as a substitute with almost his first touch, tapping in after Chelsea failed to clear a corner. Everton had taken the lead earlier in the game, half-time here.
And the half-time whistle has gone at the Reebok as well. Damian Johnson has been watching the first half there.
Bolton 2, Manchester City 2, not going to form at all, this one. Ivan Klasnic tapped in from what looked an offside position to give Bolton the lead. They should have had a penalty when Michael Richards appeared to handle. A further setback for City came when Sean Wright-Phillips limped off, Stephen Ireland replacing him. Carlos Tevez equalised for the visitors. His deflected shot went in the top corner as Bolton failed to clear their lines. But the home side were back in front. Centre-half Gary Cahill curling a shot past Shay Given. What was he doing so far forward? But City were level just before the half-time whistle. Bellamy's slide rule pass, and Richards scored from an acute angle. Entertaining stuff, 2-2.
Let's go to White Hart Lane. Another surprising scoreline there at half-time, David Garrido.
Absolutely. Tottenham 0, Wolves 1. Don't think any of us would have predicted this one at half-time. The home side booed off. The visitors defending very solidly after they took the lead early on. Kevin Doyle getting the slightest of nicks to a superb free kick from Nenan Milias for his 4th of the season. But Spurs have had their chances in this first 45, mainly through Jermaine Defoe, twice forcing Marcus Hanneman to make a save. Twice Robbie Keane has gone close, but both off target. Huddleston, Cranchar and Lennon have also threatened. Not much happening at the other end aside the goal. Mick McCarthy won't care too much about that, though. If Spurs are to continue harbouring genuine hopes of a top 4 finish, this is the sort of game they have to win. At the break, Tottenham 0, Wolves 1.
9-1, of course, the last time Tottenham played at home, and not going that way today, is it? Let's go to the Stadium of Light. Sunderland haven't lost at home, and since August, Alan Biggs is watching. It's going the right way.
Yeah, again, here it's plain sailing for Sunderland, Gabby. Just lacking here the second goal that might put Portsmouth out of sight, because there's been no threat at all from Pompey, nothing to relieve the pressure on their back line from a dominant Sunderland. The goal was good and looks better every time you see it, actually. Clever play on the right from Jordan Henderson. Excellent cross, drifting back for Andy Reid, who at the last moment pulled out of an intended volley to lay the ball across for Darren Bent, who tucked away his 10th of the season. Campbell and Henderson have also gone close, and it's more one-sided than this sounds. Sunderland 1, Portsmouth 0.
Birmingham City are looking for their 4th Premier League win on the bounce. They haven't done that in the Premier League. Let's hear the latest from St Andrews. Andrew James.
Gabby, not a bad half for West Ham, a side that have conceded 2 goals in 10 of their last 11 matches. They've kept informed Birmingham at bay, and they've had chances to go ahead. The kind of opportunities that someone perhaps like the unfortunate Dean Ashton would have snapped up, but the likes of Franco, Diamanti and Stanislas have squandered. Chasing a 4th consecutive win, as you say, Birmingham started strongly. Johnson, Larson, Jerome and Bowyer all with opportunities to score. But the longer it goes on, the more hopeful West Ham will be of getting some long overdue good fortune. It's Birmingham City 0, West Ham United 0.
All but one of Burnley's 18 points have come from 17 points have come from Turf Moor. They're playing there today against Fulham. And how's the first half gone, Richard Askham?
Pretty tight, Gabby. Burnley 0, Fulham 0. Fulham could have been a couple up, though, within 10 minutes. Damien Duff with the best chance. Clean through, but chipped horribly wide. And it's been the away side who've driven this game. Nevland and Baird have also had good opportunities to score. Burnley have been rather careless with the ball today and a bit disjointed as well. The visitors have looked like a side who've lost just once in 9, but Burnley, so strong at home this season, as you say, need to start showing that after the break. No goals at Turf Moor.
Hull's home form hasn't been bad of late. Mark Bishop is at the KC Stadium, but Blackburn have had a good few results of late. They've held Liverpool, they've beaten Chelsea. How are they looking today?
They're looking good value, although it's Hull City 0, Blackburn Rovers 0 at the break. Big Sam, watching intently from the stands, will have been pleased with his side's performance thus far. They've dominated this rather niggly, disjointed match, although Hull have had the better of the chances. Craig Fagan was put through by Boateng, a delicious pass. Fagan ran the ball into the penalty area, but what a save from Robinson. Minutes later, another effort, this time from Hunt, beaten away by Robinson again. Grella, McCarthy and Emerton have all had chances for Blackburn at the other end, but Hull have stood firm at the break. Hull City 0, Blackburn Rovers 0.
And there was a lunchtime kick-off at the Britannia Stadium. Let's get the details now from Tony Gubber. Well, it may be 9 years since Chelsea lost to Everton, but 2-2 at half-time, and 9 goals conceded in 3.5 games for Chelsea is not the way we thought this one was going to go, is it?
Well, no, I mean, conceded 1 goal at home all season, 7-8 games, and then conceded 2. And some of the defending has been quite shoddy. You know, the header, the own goal by Petr Cech, I think, is quite avoidable. But the second one, Yakubu just come on as a sub just a few moments before. Chances to clear, really shoddy. Really, well, I'm really surprised at how they're defending at home, Chelsea.
But they do score 2 super goals. The first one, I think, Figueroa, which you talk about later, who scored for Wigan, is a goal, the individual goal of the day, possibly the season. But the team of the goal of the day, I thought, was Chelsea. Lovely one-touch play. Cole, Lampard, Drogba, one-touch finish, superb finish. But Chelsea have made hard work of this game.
It's interesting, Ancelotti said that the Champions League performance in the week was the worst of the season for him from Chelsea. Coming off the back of that defeat last weekend, you know, in today's first-half performance, is it just a mini blip, do you think, that they're experiencing?
Well, I don't know. I mean, we've heard Chelsea talk about they want to put a bit of daylight between themselves and Manchester United before the players go to the African Cup. It's not happening like that. I mean, you've got to give praise to Everton today because they've got blighted by injuries. They've gone there spasmodically. They've shown a real intent to get back into the game. It's been a great performance by David Moyes' boys, one that he'll be delighted with. But, yeah, concerns for Ancelotti and his Chelsea team.
And for Manchester City, the team that beat them last weekend, we thought perhaps this is it. They're putting all those draws, 7 of them behind. They've only lost once, Manchester City, this season.
I know that.
And here they are again at half-time, having squandered, you know, getting back into the game, conceding again. Certainly you can't question fight back from them. But
no,
what about defence?
I don't think you can. I think, as we've said all the season about the defence, you know, this is Mark Hughes' team. This is the team he's put together. You know, they're not defending very well. I thought it'd be a bit of a walk in the park for them, to be honest, today, because I thought their quality, beating Chelsea, beating Arsenal, gives the team a huge lift, and they've really struggled. I think Bolton have got in and around them, and it's been a real struggle for them.
There's a talking point in that game. The first goal that Klasnic scores for Bolton is not even close to being onside. It's ridiculous. He's 3 or 4 yards offside in the 6-yard box. What the assistant referee or line, whatever you want to call him, is looking at, I don't know, because he is 3 or 4 yards.
Good match, though.
Another great. Yeah, Bolton have been. I think Bolton have been terrific.
And Bolton have only won once at home this season, which, you know, the way you've been talking up their performance, you wonder how that's been allowed to happen.
Well, Gary Cahill's been probably one of the stars of their show this year, and he's worthy of his England call-up. The goal he scores today is superb for a centre-half. Man City, what did I say? Something I said?
Treads on the ball and sells 2 players, and you think that's very skilled.
His improvisation thereafter is superb. But for a side that's been struggling, I think they are still in with a great chance of nicking all 3 points.
Another side have been struggling, Wolves. To be 1-0 up at half-time at White Hart Lane, where 9 goals were scored by the home side the last time they played there, is not going with form. And certainly 30 years since Wolves won in the capital. It could be a historical day for them.
Yeah, I mean, we all wrote them off at the start of the afternoon, but I mean, they've got that early goal, and very rarely have had anything to hang on to. They've got that today. To be fair, they've limited Tottenham to very few chances. They've been dominant in the play, but they've held on. They look very strong at the back. And we haven't said that too many times about Wolves away from home, have we?
For all the times they beat Boyd, don't they? Last week they beat Bolton, and sometimes it's a bit of a lift.
For the pedants out there, I meant, of course, in the top flight. It's been 30 years since Wolves won in the capital. I've got 3 pedants here. They'll pull me up on that, I'm sure. So let's go to the SPL now, on the top of the table. Celtic, they were at Fir Park this lunchtime, and Roddy Forsyth saw this one.
Fog threatened to have this game called off, but in the event, nothing could obscure a most eventful match in which Celtic drew first blood when Georgios Samaras, who'd earlier hit the crossbar, found his range to beat John Ruddy on the quarter hour. Only for Motherwell to draw level through Rutkiewicz, his 7th of the season since coming on loan from Everton, before Reynolds' perfect blindside run in injury time saw the defender slot home from a very tight angle. But Celtic were back in it again after the break when McGeady's exquisite left-foot curler gave them their 1000th SPL goal. And an inspired substitution by Tony Mowbray produced a splendid winner from Marc-Antoine Fortuné only seconds after he arrived on the pitch.
So by the time they kicked off, that put Rangers 5 points behind Celtic. They were kicking off at 3 o'clock at Ibrox against St Johnstone, and Brian McLaughlin saw the first half.
And it's Rangers 2, St Johnstone 0, thanks to a double from Chris Boyd. The first half of just 31 seconds, Gabby. Boyd now within 5 of Henrik Larsson's all-time SPL record of 158 goals. Both goals have come from horrendous mistakes by the Saints defence. The second from a penalty after a poor pass back. Just 1 minute before the break, only the feet of Saints keeper Graham Smith denied Boyd his hat-trick. St Johnstone's best effort has come from Chris Miller. Now, it was 1971 when St Class won in the league here at Ibrox. That trend looks like continuing this afternoon. Half-time, Rangers 2, St Johnstone 0.
Let's go to Oakwell, and in the Championship, Newcastle United could go 10 points clear tonight because West Bromwich Albion aren't playing today. Steve Sutton is watching this one. Newcastle running away with it?
They're not exactly running away with it, Gabby, but they're half of football away from their 8th win in a row. They lead Barnsley by 1 goal. Kevin Nolan, the scorer, just 6 minutes into the game. He latched onto a long ball through the middle and coolly slotted into the corner of the Barnsley net. Barnsley haven't let themselves be overrun. They've enjoyed plenty of ball in the Newcastle area, but they haven't seriously troubled the Championship's meanest defence. 7,000, yes, 7,000 Newcastle fans are in good voice. They are enjoying it. Barnsley 0, Newcastle 1.
OK, let's go to the Liberty Stadium. It's 4th against 5th in the Championship. 2 teams with serious aspirations to get out of this league and become Premier League teams. Jason Mohammed saw the first half.
Yeah, Gabby, Swansea City very unlucky to find themselves 1-0 down. I think they've been sharp in their passing and bright in their movement, but David McGoldrick's deflected shot on 10 minutes before the break has given Forest the lead. It's his 3rd goal of the season, and Gabby, you really can see why Forest haven't lost since the 19th of September against Blackpool. They're well organised, they're strong, and they've had to be. The Swans, I have to say, well, they really should be leading. Cedric van der Gun back in the side has been the best player on the pitch in the first 45 minutes. He's had 2 chances out of nothing. 1 shot just went wide. 1 brilliantly saved by Forest keeper Lee Camp after a neat 1-2 with Craig Beattie. Ashley Williams also should have done better with his header. The Swans have been pretty, but they're 1-0 down against a team that are unbeaten in 12. The teams are coming back out for the second half. At the Liberty Stadium so far, it's Gabby, Swansea City 0, Forest 1.
Thank you, Jason. Let's go to Portman Road. Roy Keane's Ipswich haven't lost in 9 matches, but they're still in the bottom 3. Things are going well, though, today. Maya Banji.
Yes, Roy Keane's men deserved their lead at the break, and the match pretty much dominated from the start. John Stead gave them the lead with the first goal, a 25-yard effort flying past Matt Gilks within 30 seconds, the first for Ipswich in 2 games. Jack Colbeck added a second just before the break, Blackpool trying to play the offside trap and making a complete mess of it. Roy Keane will be delighted with the effort thus far, as it was about time his team put their chances to goal ratio right. They've had the most attempts at goal this season in the Championship, but only scored 19. Ian Holloway might have tried finding his defence during the break because they've not been here thus far, and it's been Ipswich to Blackpool 0 at the break.
Let's go to the Walker Stadium. Leicester have been on a bit of a mini slide of late, down to 7th in the table, but they're up against a side who seem to be in even worse predicament. Mark Webber's watching this one.
Too right, Gabby. Just restarted. Leicester 2, Sheffield Wednesday 0 now. A penny for the thought of Wednesday manager Brian Laws. His side down to 2 fairly easy goals on that first half, and his own fans crying, "You don't know what you're doing," following a double substitution after 40 minutes. Leicester empowered by the return of Stevie Howard. He headed the opener. Andy King tapping through a crowded goalmouth for the second. Stadium announcers just announced that there's a car with its lights on outside. A bit like Wednesday, lights are on, no one's home. 2-0 Leicester.
Let's go to the Keepmoat Stadium now. James Mason's been watching Doncaster against Bristol City.
Yep, Doncaster won Bristol City, Gabby. An evenly contested game, separated by the game's only goal that came early on from the informed Billy Sharp as he raced onto a pass wide on the right before firing an early shot past Dean Gherkin to score his 9th of the season. Credit to Bristol City's players, though, as they just take a free kick that, from the chase you'll tell, went wide over the bar. They've come back into the game really well. Paul Hartley and Nicky Maynard coming close twice. They've done everything but score. Doncaster Rovers 1, Bristol City 0.
Watford have won their last 4 matches at home. Andy Barwell is at Vicarage Road. Is it looking like they might add a 5th?
Well, it's been a very scruffy goalless first 45 minutes of Vicarage Road. DJ Campbell's shot for Derby, saved by Scott Loach, and in stoppage time, Heider Helgeson's effort for Watford, pushed away by Stephen Bywater. The only real pieces of action to note, although the referee did try to liven things up with 4 bookings in 4 minutes. Just underway in the second half here. It remains, though, Watford 0, Derby County 0.
I'm sure we'll be coming back to you soon with Goal News, Andy. Thank you very much. The teams are coming out around the Premier League at Stamford Bridge. Of course, it's a game now. Naz Premji's been watching this one in the Championship. Sheffield United against Crystal Palace. Of course, Neil Warnock back at his old club that he enjoyed so much success, so many happy times with. Is it going to be a happy day for him today, though, Naz?
Not so far, Gabby. Not happy at all. Sheffield United 1, Crystal Palace 0, just underway in the second period. Lee Williamson's first goal of the season, separating these two sides. Stephen Quinn with excellent work down the left. His cross met by Williamson, who connected well and steered the ball past Julian Speroni. He's made one change at the break as well. Top scorer and, well, talisman in midfield, Darren Ambrose, taken off. Sean Scannell replaces him. The visitors have been pretty poor so far, apart from the very lively Victor Moses, who's been frightening the life out of the Blades backline with his strength and pace, and you feel he could be the key if the Eagles are to get back into this one. It's still Sheffield United 1, Crystal Palace 0, the second half 2 minutes old.
Let's check into the Ricoh Arena. Before today, Coventry with a side with the longest winless run in the Championship, but they've come up against Peterborough today, who seem to be in an even worse situation. Lindsay Hooper.
Yes, and they're full of confidence, Coventry, here today. It's Coventry 2, Peterborough 0. Could be partly down to the fact that they had a great performance, which was mentioned in the match programme by Chris Coleman against Newcastle. Now, they didn't get any points there. They're hoping they can today. Chris Coleman also saying that 3 points would feel like 20 for his side. I think both managers would agree with that sentiment at the moment. Both goals coming from Freddie Eastwood, the first in the 32nd minute. David Bell's corner was a brilliant cross in, and he managed to poach it in from close range. But the big threat of the game has been long throws. The second goal for Freddie Eastwood came from one of those. It was Aaron Gunnarsson who had the long throw. It met the head of Eastwood, who managed to net it in to make it 2-0. But Exodus Gohagan for Peterborough has been looking a threat with a long throw as well, and Peterborough have come out attacking, so they seem to want to try and get something out of this game. It's Coventry 2, Peterborough 0.
Plymouth Argyle have lost their last 3 matches, and Paul Marin is making his debut as a manager against Preston, and Steve Lee is at Deepdale. It's not really going to plan, is it, for him today?
Not exactly an ideal day for Paul Mariner. No, 2-0. We're 2 minutes into the second half. 2-0 to Preston. It could be more, really. First goal from Richard Chapler, a volley catching Romain Larry, wrong-footed, really. The second from the inventive Ross Wallace. For me, he's been the pick of the players in the first half. And Parkin played a lovely 1-2 with Wallace for that goal, and Parkin should have made it 3. Plymouth, they've been limited so far. They've got a couple of hundred fans here. Not their day so far. Preston 2, Plymouth 0.
Much, Steve. OK, let's go to Turf Moor. The deadlock has been broken. Richard Askin can tell us which way the goal's gone.
Yes, Gabby, it has gone to Fulham. Bobby Zamora with an excellent goal. He held off Stephen Caldwell to burst into the box on his right foot, past Brian Jensen into the bottom corner, and it's Burnley 0, Fulham 1.
So our Fulham heading for their first win there since King George VI was on the throne. Let's go to Ibrox. Brian McLaughlin can tell us which way this goal's gone.
Yeah, it's gone to the home side, the third of the afternoon. Nacho Nova, the scorer. DeMarcus Beasley made good steps down the right-hand side. His cross into the box, met by Kenny Miller. His shot saved by Smith, but up stepped Nacho Nova on the rebound and hammered the ball home. 6 minutes into the second half now. Rangers 3, St Johnstone 0.
Phil Jevons' 14th goal of the season has put Morecambe 4-0 up against Bournemouth. Morecambe have never scored against Bournemouth before today. That's 4 goals to improve that record. The Bobby Zamora goal, who saw it? Who wants to talk about that?
Quick play. He scored the winning goal last week against Sunderland. He's been getting a lot of stick off the Fulham fans, and I think you saw the reaction last week where he was shushing. Great bit of play for me. For me, centre-forward play. You know, ran across the defender, got his body in the way. It was a quick free kick from the halfway line, and then slotted it in. Looked of confidence, a confidence goal to me.
To be fair, Colwell was poor. The Burnley defender.
Yes, you can look at it from both views, can't you? Say the defending wasn't great.
Good as a striker,
you know what I mean? He was very aware what was going around him, Zamora.
OK, guys, we've got another Premier League goal to tell you about. It's happened at St Andrews. Andrew James, who scored?
Well, it's gone to the man they say is a reformed character. Lee Bowyer against his former club, West Ham United, has put Birmingham City in the lead here. It was a good ball through from Chucho Benitez that played Bowyer in. They'd already had 1 goal ruled out for offside earlier in this second half at Birmingham. but now Bowyer against his former club has put Birmingham City in the lead and perhaps on course for their first win over West Ham in the Premier League since 1985. It's Birmingham 1, West Ham 0.
Well, they don't score many goals at St Andrews, only 9 so far before today, all season. And if they win this one 1-0, it doesn't matter because it'll be their 4th Premier League win on the bounce. What a run of form they're having, Garth.
And also for Lee Bowyer, he's having a run of form, probably the best form for a long time for Lee. Leading goal scorer for Birmingham City, 3 in 3, and he's the architect of their resurgence, I think, and Bridgewell at the back, of course.
You say a reformed character, potentially. It works sometimes with a manager, doesn't it? Somebody gets the best out of a player, and maybe Alex McLeish is that man.
Exactly, and you've seen the form that Lee Bowyer showed for Leeds United when they were in their pomp, and they were doing well in Europe, and he scored his fair share of goals from midfield. You haven't seen that for a long time from Lee. There's been a lot of controversy about his career, but he seems to be settled now, and he's reproducing
It's
his best
interesting, isn't it? A new owner, no new players, nothing else changes. A new owner, surely, you know, that on its own can't be the instrumental factor.
All the players are under scrutiny, the manager's under scrutiny. They want big expectation now, huge expectation. I think they're the form team in the Premier League, aren't they?
They are, yeah. They will, today they were joint with Chelsea. I'd imagine if they win and Chelsea draw, they'll leapfrog them in that respect.
Unbelievable. Well, good luck to them. I mean, yeah, good goal from Bowyer.
Of course, we will be going back there now with the West Ham goal. I'm sure now we've just taught them up. But anyway, plenty of time for things to change. Now, on Sunday night, the greatest sportsman or woman of 2009, as decided by you, will be crowned as Sports Personality of the Year. And here are the top 10 for you. The feeling you heard wasn't Garth getting excited about sports personality, as excited as he is. It was another goal at the Reebok. Damien Johnson can tell us which way this one's gone.
It's gone to Bolton. Bolton lead 3-2 now. Ivan Klasnic with his second goal of the game. The ball was whipped in from the left-hand side. City didn't deal with it. I think it was Lescott really at fault. Klasnic just got his foot and his leg around Lescott and fired it home. And it's Bolton who lead 3-2.
Garth, you
Damien's
saw that?
spot on right. Lescott was at fault for me. Damien called that exactly as I saw it. I think if he gets the ball, he stops the goal. He doesn't do it, and it's a great finish from Klasnic.
OK, and there's a big goal at Oakwell to tell you about. Barnsley have taken some big scalps this season. Are they on their way in taking another? Steve Sutton.
Well, they've equalised, they've pulled it level, Gabby. It's 1-1, and Emil Halfredson, the goal scorer. The ball came into the box. Halfredson first to it. He absolutely lashed it into the back of the net. Absolutely no chance for Steve Harper. It has been coming since the start of this second half, though. They've had 3 corners, Barnsley, and Nathan Doyle. Sort of powerful shot just going wide. But they're level. Barnsley 1, Newcastle 1.
OK, let's go to the Majeski Stadium now. Reading have got the worst home form in the Championship. Robin Bailey is watching this one.
Looks like, Gabby, they're going to get their second win of the season. They have had a hatful of chances, though. Gregor Raziak got their only goal in the first half. He might have had a hat-trick. And, well, what about Gylfi Sigurdsson, their 20-year-old Icelandic player? He's had 4 brilliant chances and 3 fantastic saves from Josh Lillis in goal for Scunthorpe, deputising brilliantly for the suspended Joe Murphy. So at the moment, Reading are well worth that 1-0 lead. They should be about 3 up. And, well, that Scunthorpe defence, the iron, are looking a bit like rusty old corrugated iron at the moment. It's 1-0 Reading.
Well, they've conceded 38 goals now, Scunthorpe, the worst defence in the division. Let's move up to the SPL, to Falkirk Stadium. Ian Turner is watching this one.
Second bottom, Kilmarnock have taken the lead, Gabby. It was yet another mistake by Hibs stand-in goalkeeper Yves Makalambi. He fumbled a high ball. Mark Burchell was there to stoop low to head home his first goal this season for Kilmarnock. Kilmarnock 1, Hibs 0.
OK, the league leaders are at Griffin Park today. At Leeds United have taken plenty of fans with them, Tony Lockwood, making plenty of noise. But how's the match going?
Well, it's no goals so far. Luciano Becchio has hit the top of the crossbar for Leeds, who made a bright start to the second 45. Jermaine Beckford threw on goal a moment ago, couldn't finish. And in the opening 45, Beckford with an angled strike pushed onto the crossbar. Beckford through again, looks for a free kick which doesn't come. Leeds starting to dominate, but no goals.
The league leaders in League 2, Rochdale, are at Sincil Bank today. Natalie Jackson is watching. How's the second half going?
It's good, Gabby. Lincoln 1 here, Rochdale 2. The league leaders in charge, making the passing football and possession really count. Lincoln took the lead through a Chris Hurd goal, which was well taken, but the Imps have been second best here this afternoon. The Dale equaliser, a fantastic finish by the robust Chris O'Grady. Rochdale second from a lovely Tom Kennedy cross. 19-year-old Chris Dawson charged into the box and headed in a classy goal, his 6th of the season. And He's a player that's caught the eye here this afternoon. Just 19, but has all the attributes to play at a higher level. Rochdale on top here. Lincoln 1, Rochdale 2.
Let's go to White Hart Lane now. David Garrido is watching Tottenham against Wolves. Wolves leading, of course, by a 1-0. But you've got an injury to tell us about, David.
That's right. Wolves midfielder David Edwards has just hobbled off. Looked like a nasty twist to either the ankle or his knee as he was trying to chase Benoit Asuikoto. Went down, the stretcher came on, but he himself managed to haul himself up to his feet and just hobbled off down the tunnel. Kevin Foley is on for him. Spurs has made a double change and a bit to change their fortunes here. Peter Crouch, Luka Modric on for Robbie Keane and Wilson Palacios. It remains Spurs 0, Wolves 1.
Who saw the injury?
Yeah, it's one of those where you're running across the pitch and the player changes direction, and as you're trying to stop, your foot slips away, and he's sort of sat on his right leg, and I think it's a knee stroke ankle. Hopefully it's not as bad, but it could be ligaments. It was David Edwards, midfield player from Wolves.
Wolves, of course, looking to break a 30-year duck of not winning in the capital, of course, in the top flight.
Good news for Spurs, though, Gabby. Modric has come on. He's come from a slight injury, so he's a good player.
And Robbie Keane's gone off.
I've got some goal news for you down there at Turf Moor. Richard Askham, who scored?
Burnley have scored, Gabby, and what a great goal it was. Wade Elliott just inside the box. It broke to him after a bit of a scramble from the Fulham defence, and he smacked it right-footed past Mark Schwarzer and into the net. And it's Burnley 1, Fulham 1.
Notts County making the news for all kinds of reasons. Right now there's been a goal, but Chris Dennis can also tell us about the takeover news. Who scored?
Accrington Stanley have scored against the run of play, Gabby. Michael Symes with the perfect goal, a slide-rule pass put him through, and he rounded the goalkeeper very much against the run of play. Notts County, though, making the news, as you say, off the pitch, because today Peter Trembling, the executive chairman, has completed a management buyout of the club and is confident the club will be safe.
OK, thank you very much, Chris. And we just heard from Natalie. We're going back to Sincil. More goal news.
Yes, so Rochdale have got another, Gabby. It's Lincoln 1, Rochdale 3. Joe Thompson, the scorer, brought into the team today on the wing there. He got a cross from Chris Stagnall and made no mistake. Rochdale have been on top here this afternoon. Lincoln really have it all to do here now. It's Lincoln 1, Rochdale 3.
Let's go to Rugby Park. Ian Turner, a goal. Who's it gone to?
It's gone to Hibs, the visitors. It's taken them only 5 minutes to equalise. It was a quick free kick through to Anthony Stokes. Kelly defence, sleep shot into the game on now, Gabby, 1-1.
Lunchtime kickoff was at the Britannia Stadium. Stoke to Wigan to Tony Gubbers getting the reaction.
You were twice ahead, back to level terms, but then you had a penalty slightly contentiously. It looked as if he was in an offside position before the penalty was given.
Well, I don't know about the offside position. Obviously, the penalty, the contact is very, very clear, and I felt that there was another penalty in the first half that Paul Shana was quite clear, impeded, and it should have been a penalty. But those situations, they're part of the game, and decisions sometimes go your way, sometimes they go against you. Then Ugo took the penalty, and Sorensen is well off his line 2 yards, and it should have been retaken, and that's quite clear.
I mean, looking at a replay of that penalty save, it looked like you'd encroached slightly. You were moving off the goal line. Is that your tactic?
Not deliberately. Obviously, it's important to have some forward momentum because it gives you a better spring. But I think if you look at all keepers, I don't think anyone stays on the line.
Well, it's offside for a start. And I think the lads were saying he's almost a yard offside. So the linesman outside should really get that. That's not a difficult one for him to call. So it's a great save. It's a great save.
Do you go home happy?
I'm always happy.
Roberto Martinez saying there that they should have had a penalty in the first half. The penalty that they failed to score in the second half, you didn't think should have been a penalty anyway?
No, it was offside, and it was a poor penalty by Radullega. Very, very poor. But I agree with Martinez. There should have been a penalty for Wigan in the first half.
OK, let's go now to Stamford Bridge. Roger Johnson, some goal news to tell us about.
Chelsea 3, Everton 2, 59th minute. Didier Drogba with the goal for the side who've laid siege to the Everton penalty area in the opening quarter hour of the second half. Eventually the cross came in from the right-hand side and Drogba virtually side-footed it in at the far post. Remember, Everton had got back in terms. Yakubu on as a substitute on the stroke of half-time in place of Joe had made it 2-2. Chelsea on top since the restart and now in front. They lead by 3 goals to 2. Drogba the goal scorer.
Didier Drogba's 18th goal of the season. A nice finish?
Yes, great finish. I think it's Heidegger who should have done a lot better, who's in front of him. This is a guy who's just banging form. He's going to be missed when he goes to the African Cup of Nations. Frank Lampard said
he's
last week.
He's been out with defending's terrible.
Best striker he has ever played.
He is.
He's
fantastic. He is fantastic. But the
say?
defenders bang up against him, and how's he got to strike him there like that? Well, he's goal side of it. He's contact with him.
He's a good striker.
Yeah, because he's strong, but the defender's got to be better there. He's touch tight.